Hello and welcome to the 2022 Lone Star Conference Online Basketball Media Days. This is Ryan Shoemaker on behalf of the Lone Star Conference. Thank you for joining us today in Tyler, Texas. We're here with head men's basketball coach Lewis Wilson, as well as Milan Szabo. Milan is a senior from Levice, Slovakia, as part of LSC Basketball Online Media Days. Coach, before we can talk about this season, let's go back for just a second and talk about your year last year. 16-10, the program's first national ranking at the Division II level, best start in program history. You saw your team ranked in the South Central Regional Rankings. I would say that would qualify as a successful year. How would you rate the overall state of the men's basketball program here at UT Tyler heading into 22-23?
I feel like we definitely made some strides forward. We took over the program in 2019, the challenge of transitioning the program not only to Division II but into a very, very challenging and talented Lone Star Conference made it a daunting task. And I think we have shown that over the 2-year period that we've made incremental progress, winning 10 of our final 11 games in the 2020-21 season and then winning our first 7 in the 21-22, 17 out of 18 games, definitely progress. Got to feel good about that. I think our talent has been upgraded significantly from the first year, and those things have manifested themselves in wins. I think the injuries at the end of last year cloud what would have been clearly a really successful season. We lost some key players, and initially we were able to handle that, but weren't able to sustain our success with the attrition that we had through injury at the end of the year. But we feel good about where we're at in terms of the progress overall. Still a lot to do, still a lot of progress to make, but we feel good at where we're at in terms of the progress at this stage.
Coach, moving forward to the 22-23 season, you had a lot to fill in your roster moving across the off season. What were some of the selling points you felt like you used on the recruiting trail, which ultimately led to what you've described as a very successful recruiting class this season?
Well, all right, the selling points are always, pretty consistent. We are at the University of Texas. The opportunity to get an education at the University of Texas school is always the number one factor. Tyler's always going to sell. It's a great community. This is an awesome university. This athletic program has had tremendous success across the board in almost every sport, some at national level, like women's softball. So we continue to sell those things, but specifically to men's basketball, we are a team on the come. We're making tremendous progress. There's a great opportunity for athletes to come in here and play in a program where the culture is being developed, and they can be a part of something really special and be the first team to be a part of a championship for men's basketball at the D2 level. And then, beyond that is every player wants to play, and we certainly have a lot of minutes that are going to be available because of the amount of people that we lost. So that opportunity to play right away and contribute, I think, was a tremendous selling point for a lot of kids.
Coach, a lot of new to this roster this year, but also some returning. A guy like Milan Szabo, who I really feel like kind of embodies the heart and spirit of the UT Tyler men's basketball program in many ways. Talk a little bit about Milan and what makes him special to the program, and just Milan as a young man and then as well as a basketball player.
Well, Milan is special to me. We have a very close bond. The fact that he would be here for 3 years with me says two things. One, that Milan's not all there, and two, that we are close, and Milan is the heart and soul of our basketball program. I tell the kids all the time, this year I've been in the foxhole with one player on this team that I trust with my life, and Milan Szabo is that player. And as a coach, you coach kids to improve their lives, and sometimes you get a unique kid who makes your life better, and Milan's that type of kid for me and for our program. He's very, very special. He is the epitome of what a student athlete is. He's a high, almost a 4.0 student, which just shows that he's not perfect, but he's close. But he's a great basketball player. He's a great leader. He's a great friend. He's a friend to me. When we talk, we very seldom talk specifically about basketball. It's just tremendous to have a guy like that in the program. So there are other kids that are in the program, but it starts for us in this program right now with Milan Szabo.
Milan, you've been a part of this program now 3 years, like Coach mentioned, and you kind of have seen the development of this roster, the success, the development of the culture that Coach Wilson has implemented. How motivating is that to you as a player to see all of those things be successful? This program has kind of taken a step forward in each year. Individually, how motivating is that to you?
As mentioned, like the progress in the last 3 years, or the last 2 years I was here, was great. And last year, if the injuries wouldn't be there, like maybe something else would happen. But it's really motivating for me to like come to this year, seeing the new guys that are really honest and humble, right? And I'm really excited for this year. It really motivates me in a ways like I really want to show guys what the UT Tyler is about, what the culture is about, and I know when we get together, we're going to be a really good team.
Coach talked about how great of a person you are, but you've turned into a really good basketball player as well. We definitely saw last year as compared to the 21-22 season, you really kind of upped your game, led the team in rebounding. You developed a whole level of offensive skills. What were some of the things over this offseason that you did to take your game to the next level?
You see, we started working right after the season, a couple of weeks thereafter, and we basically built on what I already had. We worked on my low post skills, but also like extending my range, and going into summer, I really had 2 goals for myself to like work on my shooting close to the basket, but also like away from basket, but also work on like my mental, being more comfortable and more relaxed on the court, which can really greatly help me in the game.
Milan, a lot of new coming into this team this year. What are some of the things you guys have done, you and your teammates, to develop and build some relationship going into the season? It's a long season. You have a short amount of time to really get to know these guys and start building that personal relationship. What are some of the things you guys have done over the course of this fall to build that relationship?
I would say the team bonding was pretty natural, like flow. Like we got together one of the first days, and like it looked like we flow with each other really well. And in the preseason, we had team retreat, which was a great experience. Like we can really tell that but like every guy is really unselfish and humble. Like we really vibe with each other. So I'm looking forward to the season. Like as I said, like we are a great group of guys, and I love every single one of my teammates. Like I can talk to them, so I really appreciate it.
Coach, the Patriots have been selected 9th in this year's preseason poll. If you had to kind of encapsulate a preview of this team, taking in what returns, the newcomers on board, what you've seen in the first couple of weeks of practice, how do you see the Patriots stacking up against the Lone Star Conference this season?
9th is really high. I think, again, this is a great league. This is a league where literally 15 schools on any given night in this league can win. I think one of the great disappointments for me, to be quite honest, is that they have cut our conference tournament down to 8 teams, because I think you're going to have a lot of deserving teams that are left home, and I don't think that's in the best interest of student athletes, but that's for another day. This is one of the best basketball conferences in the country from top to bottom. There were 13 teams in our conference that either were in the top 25 or received votes for the top 25 last year. The 12th place team, Kingsville, is 12th place. That was mythical. That's a team that went through some COVID issues in the middle of the year, but they were as good as anybody in the league, and they happened to be in the championship game. And to that whole issue, we feel like we were right there with anybody in the league. There are some teams clearly that have shown their preeminence in this conference year after year. Teams like West Texas and Lubbock Christian and St. Ed's somehow at the end of every year is there as well, and there's many more. But Dallas Baptist is going to be really good this year, return a lot of players. West Texas will be good again. And what we're hoping for is that we just, with 13 new players, that we just make sufficient progress, get where we need to be. 9th is obviously not something that we show up in the gym and work hard every day. Anybody that will watch us practice or work on a day-to-day basis will not look at us and say, that's a 9th place effort. Now, where we end up, time will tell, but we are going to deserve to be a lot better than that, and I expect that that's what we'll do.
Coach Milan, appreciate your time. Good luck this season. This was UT Tyler for the Lone Star Conference Basketball Online Media Days.